so many important events to celebrate, and only one, but he's big enough to deliver them all. Here comes
your DJ has only just begun.
Me never call it crime pan a scene. Me never say he locked up. No. Me never take a dollar for a drink. Politicians them love actor. And the youths them a feel it. That's why me reveal it. So we live it day to day to day. This are no category. This are the real story. Sufferation stay long time away from my family, living day to day. Gotta make ends meet. Give thanks to Life Luton for represent Mindset every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. UK time. IjahStars, tell it to them. Free mind, free souls, free spirit. That's it.
I mean, be a positive people part. Drive out the car. Who am I a roll? No IjahStars. You don't know so the mindset each and every Wednesday. IjahStars, lead the people in the right way. That's how we stay. And Zabrik, bam, bam, bam.
X. Tread. I am not treat if you not listen IjahStars. But mindset.
Rock them and crack them. You're in tune to the mindset. Let the action speak. Do something that's timeless. Rock them and crack them. Jabari representing IjahStars. You can fall.
Well, my name is Reech Stevens, and right now I want the them know say a vertical messiah no scene. So lock into Mindset every Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. UK time. That scene. So yeah, you know. Let's drink to the hard-working people. Let's drink to the lowly of birth. Raise your glass to Mindset the greatest, and let's drink to the championess.
K-R-E. Hey, IjahStars. It's the mindset. Free your mind. Free your mind. Mindset, free your mind, free your mind. Hey, not everything that glitter is gold. Everything that's gold.
Me I tell you, mindset.
can you describe to me what your religion is about that you have here?
Oh, my religion is freedom, redemption, repatriation, do our one violent victory, that Ethiopia, that Africa, that Jerusalem, it's in a black Baba, Africa, our unit, we are contact, it's in Ethiopia, head, crown head, black crown head, and we are also defending Africa, nation well kingdom, nation well government, and we show why, and crown head, black crown head, Zion, heavenly children, Israelite, the black house of Israelite, of Ethiopia, royal sons and daughters, with New Jerusalem, shall rise up to them in this last day of our Lord Niceness, Selassie, Rastafari, fuljoy, Rastafari, So, and this thing continue too long, why can I do, So try to come to see done, So there's nothing to say one, and who I want, as one, So it was a quit down, That's not right. This one come and do it, this one pay him to do a part, They don't pay me nothing. The salvation is free, we earn money, we earn price, This is free to work free, That's not right. So, it's in the Seabed and all those in Jamaica and all those the United Nations, and a man who are a representative, and the champion for human rights in this country in Jamaica, and physically, in this world, and international to the United Nations Seabed, Africa in Jamaica, and a man who stands in international law rights, to human justice, human equality, to the world of equality, they belong to the Black Christ. And that's not how the world could have been equal except Christ himself. And when Christ come back, in the new kingdom, he will here with us now, because he's ruling now. Not the rule I am people could have a free justice here, but through the evil world, over the world, we rule and we bring back the evil back to our attention. I and I could get out of themselves, out of them among them, and getting ourselves, or in our black world, nationwide kingdom, more side. Rastafari. So you come on with no, you don't watch the come on with purely and pluralism.
You don't watch the
No, because it's like colonial and pluralism, because that's Britain.
So the economy, what happens outside there, doesn't really matter.
No, don't matter, it's nothing, because the nation well kingdom is something, because we are a nation of people.
So you consider your world a nation in itself?
Well, sure, and that is naturality.
Well, how do you exist then?
Oh, my existence, I say, it's a few bloom, and I just live out a few bloom. We are still, we are live. You don't make no way worry, because Africa is worried. Africa, we see Africa, we talk Africa, we see Africa, we do everything Africa. Africa is our one bird.
So, you think your religion is one that came here when slavery came here from Africa?
Oh, true. My creation was. I was. So I could remember creation birth to everyone. And reincarnation born to everyone.
Are you in contact with any African people of your same religion?
Oh, I don't contact definitely, I contact, But my word wake up all. Children was I and I was them. So what I send and tell them, and what they hear from my advice, then they hearken unto you. That is just right, The black man have a right. The white world has no right. The white world take away the black man right and use it. And we work him as a slave. So we say we come and take back the white man right and you back a black man, because a black man worldwide. And he knew that himself too, the white world knew that himself. And when I had to come and back a ship, he couldn't help me.
Do you have plans to grow, you know, get bigger, get more members in?
Much true. I have a plan to get more, and a plan to get 7 miles of Blackstar on the water there to go home. But I won't take no part in Jamaica no more at the moment that man says sitting there. I don't want.
You still want to go back to Africa?
Almost natural. Then you couldn't stop me. That's judgment. Yeah? Yeah? So I would say who me in Jamaica, then they fall. You couldn't hold the princess. You hold me to a moment I know you couldn't hold me for. You couldn't hold me to the reality of all times.
Can you explain to me, you know, the setup, you know, the gentlemen are called Prince, and, you know, the whole, how the church is set up, right?
Oh, you see, come up with this now, 2 prince, you know, and you couldn't get a prince that you have a king. And so they don't cry with you for a king, and I say that for a ruler, and we all is the king, and we all the prince, and also empress and the princess and goddess. That's why this thing come, because the first God was a king, like the black God of this world. He was a king, and we are the prince and princess, Father God and Goddess, Father Lord. But he was a God and he was a king. So we are his children. So we must be a prince and we must be a goddess, and you know.
Okay. Thank you.
But you know, I don't want to come to the right. Where does the right, you know? But where am I? Don't make up the night. Huh? I won't teach you or taught anything about the wild man of gold. Because if I taught you that, I will taught you to yourself. I will teach you around. Huh? But I teach about yourself now. I say about your God. Because black man will have a God. Because no one can create yourself, you create yourself.
Oh, you don't think one God created everybody?
One man, you know? First.
Oh, I see. Oh, you think one man created both black and white, but he...
The conquering lion shall break every chain. Ethiopia Royal National Kingdom. Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Church of Salvation. The Sabbath to be kept holy. Formerly headquartered at 54B Spanish Town Road, now headquartered at 10 Mile Bull Bay. King Emmanuel VII, down the high God. This is a call for unity. I, the Right Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edward, the Lord Servant, the Black Christ in flesh, speak to all black Ethiopian sons and daughters from Jamaica to Africa, also worldwide internationally. All black sons and daughters universally are to drop X now and take up R. Say away with politics and politicians. Politicians cannot help anyone. They cannot take you to God. God do not want them, for they are evil. They only use you to kill off yourself. Now is the time for you to unite yourself. Love one another. Stop voting X. For X is wrong from school days. It is slavery. Black Ethiopians, you should not be divided amongst yourselves. All workers universally should come together and work for themselves and stop supporting the politicians and the unions. They could not help you, for they are evil amongst you. They teach you to hate yourself. After they starve you, they then give you a gun to shoot yourself. They do not tell you to shoot the Indian, the Chinese, or the white men. They only teach you to shoot your black self. They do not teach you to shoot those whose belly is full, only your hungry black brothers and sisters. I, King Edward, the defender of human rights and justice, have been in this country since the time of the 14-man ruling to this present government. And I do not see what the politicians have done for the people, why the people love them so much. The only thing they have given you is brutality and starvation. And when you cry unto them, they say you have to bite the bullet. To what you are receiving now, it is better you stop working and find back a union with Christ and seek your homeland of Ethiopia, Africa. Withdraw from the white world, politician world. Do not work for a next man who do not look like you. Work for your black self. You must come to one unity like you did in 1938. Come to unity of strength and light of yourself in salvation and drop politicians. When you have a banana, break it among yourself and stop destroying yourself. When you destroy yourself, you destroy your life from yourself. When you destroy yourself, you destroy the love of fellowship from yourself. When you destroy yourself, you destroy salvation from yourself. When you destroy yourself, you destroy the glory of your Father from yourself and bring yourself to the evil of the evil world. Now is the time for you to find yourself in righteousness of salvation. Righteousness is mightier than sin. Righteousness exalts a nation, and sin bringeth the people to a reproach. Marcus Garvey have said that they could fool some of the people, but they could not fool all. Therefore let go politics and stop marking X, for X put back shekels on your feet, which is about to take you. Let your voices be heard, call out for Africa. If you want banana walk, look it in Africa. If you want cane field, look it in Africa. No one can run you from there, for Africa is your birthland from creation birth. The politicians do not teach you that you come from Africa, for they want you as a slave. They teach you that you have to die to see God, which is folly. For Christ say he is the God of the living and not of the dead. I am now showing you all that Africa belongs to you. God and goddesses can never change. So arise and own Africa 4 wings universally. Leave the evil world teaching and come to the union of the Black Christ to save yourself. We are Ethiopians, we are African. We come down from the river Nile as a wise people. Because of this we are ever wise, although we are in the evil world. Therefore let us see the naturality of ourselves and do what is right. I and I who come down from the river Nile were well educated with wisdom, knowledge and understanding unto this day. That is why we are able to fill up ourselves with wisdom, knowledge and understanding in this time, to return forward up the Nile where we came from. Let us see ourselves as of Israelites. Let us see ourselves as of Ethiopian sons and daughters, because we are the royalty of the earth, gods and goddesses of the earth. The first birth is ours. Before any human being was on the face of the earth, the black man and woman was here, the black Christ in flesh and blood and the black Mary. Own God in flesh and blood and let go X. Own salvation in flesh and blood and let go Christianity. Politics cannot help you, Christianity cannot help you, for they all are Satanism. That is the way Satan set his world to hold you. Remember, he beat you to make you do the wrong and not the right. He beat the right out of you and turn you to wrong. Calling upon the people in Jamaica and worldwide to see what you are doing. It goes for those in the cane field, the factory, the office, the sidewalk, also the police and soldier. Calling upon the black police to remember that white police are coming in to kick you out and replace you. If you want to save yourself, you have to seek your homeland of Africa. Marcus Garvey said that in the last days, these days, you will have to drop your pants and join the line when the saints go marching in. I say again, from the time of the 14-man rule into this government, you have not got anything except to break rock stone, and it should not be so, for Africa is your own. Time is running out, slavery is upon you again, shekel will catch your feet again. All those government houses that you are living into and cannot finish pay for will be taken away from you when America, Britain, Canada and the rest come in. As you can see, they are coming in already. There is no government in the country, for Queen Elizabeth II told the Prime Minister to turn the country into sports. That is why there is no work. This is Satan's kingdom. Society is Satan's kingdom. Therefore all who make up the society world is Satan. That is why no good can come from them toward the people. Christ's kingdom do not carry society. Christ's kingdom is a kingdom of equality and justice where none is higher than the other. Now is the time for you to tie your belly and weep to fulfill Jeremiah 9. Calling upon black women to tie their belly with a black turban and weep for Africa to save yourself from slavery. No one know and not a day over. The people who work for Satan is Satan angel. I, the Right Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edward, am speaking to the black nation of people in Jamaica, also worldwide internationally, my brothers and sisters. We know that no one can fight against the prophecy of the Almighty God. Others will come around you and force you out of yourself to do something which cannot help you or help them either. It could only help them for a time. It is just like when the Honorable Marcus Garvey said that America would come down here and spend a lot of money. Honorable Marcus Garvey said that the black Ethiopian sons and daughters here in Jamaica should not rest their hope on America, because America is only for a short time through the judgment of the Almighty God. You must turn to Africa, that is where your eternity is. You must call upon the politicians for your freedom, redemption, and international repatriation to Black Africa through 7 or 9 or 13 mile of Blackstar liner high water ship. Find back your own vine and fig tree under the banners of the red, gold, and green with black 5-point star, and red, black, and green with black 5-point star. Africa is the bread basket of the whole wide world. We, the Black Ethiopian Israelite, know God because we were the first gods of the earth. I and I never built a bomb or made war with anyone. I and I rule under God in flesh and blood. The white world rule under the devil world of shadow and spirit. That is why they have the world under a dead philosophy of a spirit God that no one can see. Christ did prove himself to be God in flesh and blood, visible, touchable in St. Luke chapter 24. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Rastafari. So we come to bring back the world to God in flesh. The evil world do not show us of the living God in flesh, as we are doing now. The white world do not show us of the true divine brotherly and sisterly love amongst ourselves, as we are doing now. They only tell us that we have to die to see God, and the one who lost their dearly beloved never see them return to say that they have seen God. Calling upon Black Ethiopians nationally and internationally and worldwide to drop the devil philosophy of the white world. Drop politics and find back God in flesh and blood. Selassie, Rastafari. I come to bring you back to find yourself, so that you could find your kingdom in flesh, while you live, not when you die. For dead men tell no tales. You must bring back yourself to be loyal and true. The evil world never taught us that the black world of people is God and Goddess. I come to do so now. Only one salvation stand, the black Christ salvation of the black world. Only one church stand to bring back all people to themselves, and that is the Black Ethiopian Church of God in flesh. We do not mix the wrong with the right like how the world is doing, for that could not work. You could not leave flesh and done and take spirit alone. That would make you an antichrist. First Epistle John chapter 4. Give thanks for those who could bring back themselves to a naturality. The evil world fool us out of ourselves as if we did not come from anywhere. Yet they know that we come from Africa. Therefore they must return all black Ethiopians worldwide to our heaven. Africa for the African, those at home and us abroad, through Article 1 to 15 to 30 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Queen Elizabeth II, who is the Queen of Jamaica, declared that God knows in 1966 that the Jamaica government, which is this present government, is to hurry up and do what they are doing, for she wants America, Canada and New Zealand to come in and do her business. She also declared that King's House, that there is an individual man in this country who no one is to molest, for in time to come, which is this time, this man shall be Lord over her Lord, the Black Christ, Jehovah, Rastafari. Those that God knows could not say it was not so. The people must make the Jamaica government bring forth the individual man, or make Queen Elizabeth do so through the people's voice. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The people is the government. Therefore, anything the people want, they must get it. Ask for it in the right way. Freedom, redemption, and international repatriation to Black Africa. Calling upon the people nationally and internationally to drop politics, for politics is Satanism. X is Satanism, X is death. Those who are dead could not have eternal life. If Christ never come in this flesh and temple to bring us back to ourselves, no one would be saved, not even the white men with all their backship. Pray to live to see God in flesh. They take gun to kill us all because they want to rule, but they could not rule, for we are the first ruler. God bless us in ourselves to fulfill these words and keep the commandments of the Almighty. The Sabbath is to be kept holy. Exodus 20 and 31. 6 days may work be done, but the seventh is the Sabbath of rest. Sabbath start from 6 p.m. Friday to 6 p.m. Saturday. Also remember Deuteronomy 28 to 31. Study these chapters to bring back ourselves to reality and to bring back ourselves to a divine people. Selassie, Rastafari. Cast away bad mind and hatred from us and find back love and human settlement through Article 1. God bless all those who take the word of this program to bring back themselves. The first commandment is love with clean hands and pure heart. Therefore have bad heart and bad mind with no one. This message goes right through the root of Africa, 4 wings, and for us here also. Remember the promise, hold fast until I come. Behold, I come quickly. 1,000 years in my sight are like an evening gone. Freedom, redemption, and international repatriation. All prison doors to fly open, all captive to be set free universally. My peace I give unto you, not what the world giveth, but what I, Jesus of Nazareth, the Black Christ, giveth peace and love. Jehovah, Jah, Rastafari, Melai, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Call upon all royal Ethiopian sons and daughters to own our Amharic, for that is our ancient language and culture from creation. Hope you mighty race you can accomplish what you will. We will be coming off the year for a short moment. Therefore you must study this program carefully and bring back yourself to the right of these words until you hear from us again. God be with you till we meet again. King Emmanuel 7, Adonai, I God, Jah, Rastafari. Remember our celebration coming up on November 2nd as we celebrate the coronation of our God and King. 72 nation bow and crowning King Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. God be with you till we meet at Nego's feet. I am the most right honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edward, the Lord Servant, the Black Christ in flesh, President of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, Black Secretary General of Black United Nations, King of the Races. I Negos rule Israel, King Emmanuel VII, Adonai God, Jah, Rastafari, Holy Emmanuel I, Jah, Rastafari, my Lord.
Me I tell you, mindset.
Blessed love, blessed love, blessed love. Pleasant good evening, good afternoon. Warm welcome to one and all brothers and sisters from near and far. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Bless and sanctify, and bless. Royal Art of Celebration, my Lord and Empress, give thanks for another New Year's. See, Bobo Shanti New Year. And yeah, we're giving thanks for this glorious moment. You see me, I said this beautiful day. We're giving thanks for I and I, Father and Mother of creation, King Alpha and Queen Omega, beginning without end, first without last. Emperor Haile Selassie the first, Empress Menen the first. Yes, and we give thanks the Black Prophet, yes, John Marcus, the Right Honorable Excellency Marcus Mosiah Garvey, I and I, Prophet, and we give thanks, yes, for the Black Christ in flesh, Charles Edward. We give thanks for the man of R. Yes, we give thanks the Melchizedek, the man who raised the Melchizedek order, the ancient order of Melchizedek, Charles Edward. Yes, Prince Emmanuel, God with us. We give thanks, my Lord and Empress. Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us today. Zane, manners and respect for them patient listening and rapid attention. Yeah, we give thanks for them presence. There's upon the YouTube on a Sunday evening. You see me, I say I know it's maybe morning, for some of the item, in different geographical location. You see me? Yes, so Royal Art of Celebration again, my Lord and Empress, globally. Seen? Yes, I. Globally. And New Year's Day. Zine? For Bobo Shanti. New Year's for a lot of one gone from January the 1st I call it, January the 1st, seeing, Ethiopian New Year's gone from, September the 11th. You see me I say, and, now, this, show a distinction, seeing? Yeah, this show a distinction that I and I is a nation, seeing? Yeah, a nation of people. So, we have our new year. You see me I say? Yeah, we have our new year, and this is Bobo Shanti New Year. So, art a celebration to, one and all again, wherever they are, them a stand up in the earth. And we have a special guest with we today, Zane. Is a virgin where I know of for numbers of years now. You see me I say? Yeah, for numbers of years now. And I think we kind of lost the connection. See? Yeah, because I was on a different platform at the time when, I was connecting with Jadaniel. And Jadaniel is a honorable prophet of the EIBIC. Seeing? Yes. And we have him today as, our special guest. And, it's good because it's a new year. And you see me I say, good to have something good. You see it upon the new year. Yeah, so we have Jadaniel. For some reason, my video and his side or my side not really connect the way it's supposed to be connecting. But I show the eye them on YouTube can see Jadaniel. You see me I say I can see, but the only thing he can't say I. You see me? But if him prep on the YouTube, I say boy I'm here. And him know me there still. So we give thanks. Jadaniel, my lord, blessed love, warm welcome to the Mindset program. Blessed love, Bobo.
Blessed love, my Lord and Empress, and all the ones visiting, watching, listening, however you're tuning in, wherever you are, blessed artist celebration. Give thanks for the Bobo Shanti New Year going through, 7 lights at night, bingy order. To cut and clear, for another year, serving the Black Christ, to doing good, uttering good words and doing good works. That's what we're here to do, to represent our Father, Holy Emmanuel I,
Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, my Lord.
Give thanks for having me. It's an honor to be on the Mindset. I've been following the I's works. I realized, whenever Von Benjamin forward out of the flesh is when I was made aware of your platform, and I've been following ever since, So I give thanks for the good works that you're doing, to, help the young artists to talk about the issues in society, in the music industry, in the Congress, and everything, So it's very much needed, more conscious news and reasoning and things like that. The more we have, the better, So give thanks for the eye and give thanks for the platform and give thanks for having I-Man on the platform to talk about, whatever it is that the eye wants to reason about today. So, give thanks.
Yes, Jadaniel. Give thanks for the eye taking the time. It's a great honor if you have the eye on the program here. And we've been doing the work for numbers of years now and thing. And as the eye rightly said about Van Benjamin, God bless him soul. He's an ancestor right now. And, we give thanks to I and I ancestors, because I and I ancestors is I and I, and I and I is I and I ancestors. You see it? So, as the I rightly point out, is kind of when this channel really take off in a sense, if we can call it that. You know what I mean? It's when the channel more people start recognizing that this channel was there. So we really give thanks for Van. It's a shame that in the situation that we start to publish stuff about Van is when him really pass away. You see me I say, and I think a lot of people, globally felt it, and wherever they could get information or anything about the Virgin, they were just latching on to wherever platform it is. So we give thanks that was able to really fulfill such duty, for the Virgin to Sedway, you know what I mean? So yes, I give thanks, my Lord, for the observation, Bobo. Yes, I.
In our house, in our gates, we are it's just a lot of celebration in this time too, because Friday, my youngest princess turned 3 years old, and
Wow.
today is the New Year celebration, and 2 days from now, on the 9th, my wife, my empress, and I celebrating 12 years of marriage.
Pause.
Yeah, so
Pause.
just a celebration moment.
Yes, I. Art of celebration to the family, my lad. Going through again, Yeah, man. More love and strength to the item. Celestia, Yes, Bobo. Yes, my lad. So, all right. How long the eye upon the journey, my lad? 'Cause I know
Well,
the eye a prophet still.
true. Yes, as Rastafari, I began to know myself in that way when I was in, high school, like 2001, 2002. And as I graduated high school, I moved away from my parents' house and kind of grew into myself more, and so around that time is when I put on my locks and, you know, um, did some traveling in the meantime, and say like 2006, I was able to visit the island of Trinidad and experience Rastafari in a different way. In the Caribbean, it's a different lifestyle. I'm sure as you know, than America or somewhere like London or, so to experience it in that way was like it really solidified everything that I had been studying. And so, following that, the journey continued. I went and lived in Connecticut for a while, in a city called Hartford, where a lot of the population is from the islands. A lot of Jamaicans and other West Indian islands live there and have business, and like the culture there is really strong as far as like West Indian and even Rastafari. At the time, I was staying with a brethren who was, one of the leading Rastafari figures. He was a Nyabingi brethren still, but an elder in the community, same way, and the people looked up to him. So it was a good experience because it was a central location, and I got to meet a lot of people. Like even he had a band that practiced there, and I met Junior Reed there, and so it was just like a central kind of location in the community. So that was a good experience. I also met my empress in the same space, and shortly after I met her, she moved to North Carolina, where I'm from, and we got married shortly thereafter, and went back to Connecticut for a little while because that was when the recession of 2009 had started. So it's
See.
been tough. And shortly after that, we lived in Connecticut for like 3 years, and then 2012, I was on a mission to find a bass drum and I linked up Honorable Prophet Mwambe, the Royal Ambassador of the Congress in Milwaukee, and it was just by chance, so to speak. I know it wasn't by chance, really. It was, divine order, but it wasn't something I was looking for. But he introduced the Bobo Shanti culture to me, and shared a lot of say like music, the hymns and choruses, and some recordings from the Black King Network, ready to put up different radio programs on a weekly basis. And so he introduced me to a lot of the culture at that time, like 2012, and I studied a lot and even started listening to the recording of King Emmanuel, Reasoning, and I think it was 1983 on Marcus Garvey celebration, Marcus Garvey Earth Strong, which, most of us are familiar with that when it's on YouTube. But, that was really, once I heard King Emmanuel Reasoning, that was really what, solidified my interest in the Congress, because I'd always been, curious, but just never really had the right person to culture me or to open it up to me to make it where I understood fully what the EABIC is about. And so listening to King Emmanuel himself really was just like, his logic and his spirit, it really sat with me as like, this is, I see why they call this man Christ. And this, as far as a Rasta man, knowing that he wrote letters to the Queen and to the Jamaican government and organized such a big, foundation and impacted so many people's lives to take them from, from like, mafia families and just ghetto living and things like that to make them priests and prophets and empresses and changing their lives in that way. It really just, King Emmanuel is really what just made me hold on to the culture, because it wasn't, in my area, in North Carolina, there's not really much Rastafari culture unless you know of it. Like there are Rastafari people here, but you wouldn't really know they were here because there's not like a large Caribbean population, especially not where I'm from, High Point area. So there was no influence directly for me. It was more so, what I read and, a couple of people I met on my journey, but still, I ended up here in Asheville, North Carolina, and it really is just like, it's not really, there's no elders here who knew King Emmanuel or nothing like that. So everything that I was getting was, I was reading and I was, seeing YouTube videos. But yeah, so around that time, 2012, 2013, I learned, the Cree anthem, and even practicing Psalms reading order, and even watching on YouTube and seeing how the service did. And I know there's still a lot more that I have to experience regarding that, but around that time is when, the brethren, Prophet Mwambe, and even some other ones had also cultured me to understand that it's okay to wear the turban for now until you're able to go and be properly crowned by a leading priest with, a next priest reading the Psalms and everything, the proper ceremony.
My Lord.
At that time, 2013, on Congress Day, March 1st, is when I started wearing my turban and have been wearing a turban ever since then, and continuing to learn and grow within the order, from in whatever capacity that I've been able to, which is somewhat limited because there's no service order here, there's no congregation like that, but through internet, I'm able to reason with ones, and even, like Priest Kailash, last year he shared like a full service for Marcus Garvey's Earth Strong, and just different platforms like that who've been sharing different aspects of service and things like that has just helped me to build myself. I don't consider it complete until I'm able to go to the service and be crowned and all of that, but in the meantime, that's been my journey, and just trying to make it all work, because the campground, the 21 days principle and certain things that we can do in that setting is like it's not really if you don't have the community for it, it's just you have to um, do the best you can. So we've been doing the best we can to keep up the order and to grow and build ourselves in that way, ever since 2013.
Yes, yes, Bobo. Yes, I give thanks. So, what really stand out with the high priest for the eye, because as the eye mentioned, seeing people life being changed, and we know in a religious world, Zine, like for instance Christianity and thing, them you hear people say, boy, Jesus saved them life and all these type of thing, and the Bible speak about you have to born again and all these things. So it's like the I never meet Prince Emmanuel before, Zine, the Black Christ in flesh, like myself. I've never met the priest in person like that, but through the teachings of the man and what we come and hear and see, our life change because of that. So is it a thing where the I been saved by a man who you never see?
Well, I mean, definitely, I would say so. But even to really answer that question, like I said, understanding that this is a man who really had no teacher. He came from he was living in Jamaica at the time, so the cultural influences of Jamaica, like the drum beat, even though the Nyabingi order as we carry it now is not the same as the say Kumina and Poko and all of those things. We know that those were some of the original African styles of drumming, but he went from um, that background and created a whole ceremonial order with such detail, where, like say what colors people wear on at certain days, having seven different banners and culture around each banner,
Yeah.
having a Sabbath service with seven priests, and just understanding revelations and the seven golden candlesticks, and when listening even to him reasoning, and you hear the night bingy in the background as he when he hails his majesty, or when he's holy eye, and everybody around him just comes in, it's just um that fulfillment, when you really read revelations and you understand Christ, and even to read the story of Christ in the Bible, and to understand the story of King Emmanuel's life without like trying to make it fit. You know what I mean? It's just like it just is. You see for sure this is the Christ. And over time, like say even reasoning with a brethren like Honorable Priest Paul, Bariso Babo, and him telling of how his family was definitely a Don kind of mafia family in the island, and him growing up in the garrison, and his children's mother being killed, and him having to flee and go to the mountain, and going from that life to be able to establish the Congress as a royal ambassador. That's just one story. But I'm sure many of the elders who, went to the hill at that time in, say, like the 70s and 80s, were coming from situations that were less than ideal, and lives that were, not necessarily good. But learning under King Emmanuel and Tick's War, and Jamaican society outside of the camp, to go from that to being a royal priest or prophet or even empress is that alone does a lot for a person's mentality. But then even to be able to carry up service and Psalms reading and all of those things, like the daily life of a Bobo Shanti is so well laid out and so let's see, like say even just Psalms reading 3 times a day, 7 Psalms each time, 21 Psalms a day. To have that order, it helps one to focus on righteousness, because every 6 hours you're being reminded, if you need a reminder of praising Jah, so just the little details, I guess. I mean, and even like I said, listening to him speak and the logic that he uses, it's not even like a religious kind of way that I was drawn to him. It's more so just the way he explains things, like to say, and I never heard anyone say this before him, that Jamaica's motto, their national motto is out of many one people. But King Emmanuel said it couldn't be that. It's out of one people come many. The black man and woman is the father and mother of all creation, and all
Yes,
people
I.
come from us. So, just things like that. The way he was able to just make it so simple, for all of us to understand, and just so those type of things is really what made me hold on to King Emmanuel, without meeting him personally. And it's not even from like the hearsay, like he said this and he said that, but like directly hearing him say things, it really just, that was what
Yes,
made me
I.
say yes. The Bobo Shanti order is for me. Yeah.
Yes, my lord. Yeah, and the I mentioned early out and thing, when the movement start, and I hear that all the houses was probably under King Emmanuel then, in a sense, they were all at the same place. You understand? That is what I heard. And then one start to break away for whatever reason, they decided to break away. And when they break away, Dada said, all right, him a go make a move 10 miles, out of the city. You see it. So the man really stand out for know say boy, all these virgins, all these different houses that exist now was, houses, under King Emmanuel then. If I can put it like that. I know probably people are gonna say, boy, oh no, never go so. But I'm just saying what I've heard from honorable priests, you know what I mean? And more than one priest. You understand? And so it's something that, is outstanding for a one man. See? And then, this one man, I got say boy, him is the Black Christ. I think a lot of ones see that as something presumptuous. You know what I mean? How can this man wanna claim to be the Black Christ? You see me? I said just because Christ is somebody what them read about in the Bible, but them what them read about in the Bible, them can't see it as a reality also. So when them start to think that is a presumptuous thing to claim that, I am the Black Christ, Charles Edward is the Black Christ in flesh, is because a one can't really see the God in themselves, why them start to, have a issue with that. I don't know how they I see it still.
Yes, my lord, definitely. And one thing I would like to even add to the last answer, this reasoning, the statement that King Emmanuel made, God, man of right is God in flesh, and woman of right is goddess in flesh.
Yes,
And
my
man of
lord.
wrong is Satan in flesh, and women of wrong is Sataness in flesh. I mean, once you understand that about yourself, not even about King Emmanuel, but about yourself, it's like, yeah, you wouldn't have a problem with the next man saying he's God. You know, you should say the same because you're the same type of man as him. You know, you might not have created an order, you know, or you might not have been, say, like the king of a country or something like that, but to understand that every man and woman is born and made in the image and likeness of our father and mother is like, I mean, image and likeness. That means the God and goddess look like us, right? It means that, you know, that's the image. The likeness now is would be like our behaviors, and you know, the fact that we eat food and we, you know, we do all of these things that we consider to be normal human behavior. So if we're like God and we're like goddess, then we should, you know, the things that we do should be like God and goddess the same way. So just to make that connection, to know, to understand that humanity is divine, you know, in its natural order, its natural state is divine. And, you know, we understand that we, in a lot of ways, have, you know, gone away, astray from of man, and we give thanks that King Emmanuel even came to bring back these things to our remembrance, you know. So, yes, I would say a lot of people have a problem with King Emmanuel calling, or with Bobo Shanti calling King Emmanuel God, or, you know, Christ or whatever, but that's their problem, you know. I don't really, that's just because they don't understand themselves, you know, simply put. The same way a man like Haile Selassie could be viewed as God or Jah. He was born of a woman. He had a father, an earthly father, excuse me. The same way, I have a mother. I have a father. If I choose to do right, for instance, when I do wrong, I am a devil, you know, and it changes, you know. But for us now, as gods and goddesses, it's really, we understand that we're human, right? And that we might do wrong sometimes, right? But the difference, in my opinion, of a god and a devil is that a god will recognize when he or she does wrong and can take correction and can rectify those wrong behaviors. It's all about your heart, you know. A Satan, a devil, does wrong intentionally and doesn't care and doesn't apologize and doesn't have remorse and doesn't ever care to correct it. A God will do wrong, like maybe do something wrong, but they'll apologize if need be, or they'll correct it, or whatever it is. They, get understanding so that they don't do that same thing again. It's not their intention to hurt. So, for King Emmanuel to be called the Black Christ, it's like, if you really check his life, beyond religion now, spiritually talking, and even practically, like statically, not just churchically, but statically as well, to speak for and to work for, as he said, his religion, freedom, redemption, international repatriation of, the Black House of Israel, back to our homeland, Ethiopia, Africa, So for him to give his whole life, for that cause, and nobody can dispute whether he gave his whole life for that, is not even something to debate. So Christ, he cares about all of his sheep. 100, if he had 100 in the flock and one got left behind, he's going to go back for the one. So the same way we see King Emmanuel
Rastafari. Yeah, Jordan had a freeze up on his side. Yes, my people, for real. Yeah. Yes, give thanks. When we get the Virgin forward. I don't know. Yeah. All right.
So sorry about that. I lost connection, but yes, I was just saying. We see King Emmanuel is the same person. He was willing to give up his life just to redeem ourselves. To take up the order, to practice the ways of Christ that he showed us that can make us better people. And if we stick to those ways, it's guaranteed we'll see results. You know, we'll definitely see ourselves becoming better people um, naturally. You know, so yeah, logically, King Emmanuel is the Christ. You know, spiritually, the spiritual, the ceremonial order, all of these things. I mean, when you really look at him, you know, it's just the only thing you could have a problem with is yourself. But so you don't see no flaw in him in the sense of um, whether or not he really cared about his people and whether or not he was willing to put his life on the line for his people, you know? So yes,
My Lord.
That answered the question fully.
Yes, Bobo. So all right. What really what really spurred the eye now for really, cause I write a letter. There's a letter out there that the I write, and how I come across the letter is the honorable priest Isaac channel I was watching, and you know, the item came up about, you know, a reason about this letter and thing, and to I it was, you know, quite interesting, you know, really interesting, my lord. So last year, I know, and I was linking with the eye before that, before I even know about the letter still. You see me I say? And as I said, you know, it's many years we've been linking, but you know the connection did break for some reason or another. You see me I say? And you know we're there again. And we give thanks, but what really what the I said that, you know, the I would write such a letter, and you know, when you write this letter, who were you directing this letter to? Was it to the foundation, or was it individuals? You know, was it the Congress itself? How it go?
Yes, my lord. So from the beginning, what sparked the idea for me to write the letter is because I, you know, reasoning with some different elders that have been members of the Congress from the time, you know, the say like the glory days of the foundation, you know, from the 70s and 80s. Those who were there when King Emmanuel was there, they expressed to me some things that kind of just it showed me the Congress in a different light than what I had imagined or even had been exposed to before, where basically they expressed to me that, you know, there's been ever since King Emmanuel made his transition from flesh to, you know, a different realm, or even maybe he's in the fleshical realm still, but the temple that we know to be King Emmanuel, when he left that flesh, there was sort of a breakdown, and even almost a power struggle in different regards, and also the fact that there are members of the Congress who have definitely proven their devotion to the Congress through their works for the Congress, that are being excluded from certain governmental proceedings, you know, as they develop. They're being blocked from them. And these are people who I know for a fact would benefit anything develop any governmental works within the Congress, and they've definitely shown that they don't have like malice for other ones when they say these things, because even when they say it, they warn, they say, I'm not really trying to sway you one way or the other, but I'm just telling my story. That's what they all stated, not trying to make it to where they're, villainizing anybody, but just telling their experience. And their experience made me wonder why, why is it that these ones who, have certain skills that could be beneficial to the Congress, especially being that the Congress, during the time when King Emmanuel was there, from what I understand, I don't know everything, so I'm sure someone might be able to correct me if I'm wrong. But what I understand is that when King Emmanuel was in the camp, the branches had only spread within the Caribbean, and eventually even into Miami, right? But nowadays we have branches in Chile, in Brazil, South Africa, the Ghana and Ethiopia ones had already been established during King Emmanuel's tenure in the camp. But we have not even delegations, but congregations in, say, London, in different parts of Europe, in America. We have New York, and even like San Diego, and there's Bobo in a lot of countries in the world that there wasn't back in those times. And there's also Bobo who have skills that I feel that the government should be able to harness and utilize for the upliftment of the Congress. But instead of utilizing all of those resources, some of those resources, because of personalities, are being excluded from development, and they're not able to, share their expertise or their service to make the Congress run and function better. So that to me is a problem, because, and another thing also is that I also noticed, I saw I think it was on Facebook, but somebody shared a picture of a news clipping from the Jamaica Gleaner of something that was in like the classified ads or whatever, where it was saying that certain members of the Congress are not authorized representatives of the Congress. And I thought, this is a red flag, because, these things are things that, one, shouldn't be made public. It just looks bad on the whole camp. It looks like there's disunity, and that's not a good look, Not to say it shouldn't have been published, but it shouldn't get to that level that they have to go and put it in the newspaper for the whole country to see, and then even to post it on social media is taking it even further. And I've been, since I did the interview with Honorable Priest Isaac, people have contacted me and said, I don't think you should talk about these type of things on YouTube. It's not for us to see and hear. But I'm like, at this point, it's already out there, and I'm not the one who made it that way. I didn't cause the problems, right? I didn't publish the problems. I'm only speaking about the problems with the intention to rectify the problems. And I even, in my letter, I made it clear that I personally, and I'm sure many other youths and ones that are also concerned and willing to give my strength, my services, in whatever way I can to help to resolve these situations. So I didn't really speak out in a way of condemning anyone, but more so to let the elders know that we young people see that we are coming into something that is not in its best form. Like when I look on YouTube, there's a video of the Bobo Hill in 1982. And when you watch that video, you see there's people in the broom field working. There's brethren making sandals and things. They interview the empresses, they show them, and the tabernacle is full, like to the capacity, the altar is full, and you just see a lot of aspects of the Congress functioning, and it looked like, when you reason with elders, they tell you, when I came, it was so beautiful, like Naya Bingi order going through all the time, and different ceremonial order, and they saw these people. It was so many people, and everybody was just there with love. And coming into it now is not. That's not what we see. That's not what we're experiencing. And I know that there's different groups, and I said this in the interview with Priest Isaac as well. But there's different groups, which ultimately, and this is not being said with the intent to condemn. But ultimately, these different groups are like splinter groups, but only because it's not coming from one mind, or one heart. There's different groups with different agendas, and they're not all on the same page, and they don't even consent to each other's existence. And the foundation, I don't think, consents to all of their existence either. So, basically, I just wrote the letter because, it's visible that this is an issue, that the world, not even the world, the youth are seeing what it is, and it's discouraging because it's like, this isn't what I signed up for. This is not, what I know the EABIC to be based on what I can see with my own eyes. I've seen the video of how it used to be, and I know from even looking at the videos of the foundation today, and give thanks for foundation and give thanks for the angels that are there and continuing the tradition for ones to come in and see, but it ain't functioning like it used to.
Let me ask the this, my Lord.
It's not, it's
blessed love, Bobo.
Probably the elders' fault, ones who have the respect of the youth because of their, the fact that they were there. Mm-hmm.
Yes, my Lord, honorable. Do you think that King Emmanuel, a man of R, a man of right, Zane, do you feel like if something is not going on right, and the whole people in Jamaica know that this man declare himself as the man of R, the man of right, and the Black Christ in flesh? Don't you think that if something is not going right and it's something that needs to be out there, you think he would want to hide it to the people? Do you think it's something you would want to hide, being the man of R?
Well, first of all, I don't think he would let it get this out of order as it is, but if it did reach a certain level, I don't think he would try to hide it, no. He would do his best to rectify it with whatever power he has from his manpower, of the ones who, are faithful to him, his servants. He would do his best to rectify it, but I don't think it would be like a secret, like I said, some people reached out to me and said they support the letter. They thought the interview was good. Some people said I shouldn't have talked about certain things in the interview. Some people thought the interview was appropriate and that I didn't disclose too much information because I'm conscious, I'm not here to even condemn anyone. I'm not here to expose all of the Congress's inner workings, but just to make it known because, all right, here's my thing. I had an issue before, and I went to the foundation. I went to whoever I thought had the authority to rectify it. Nothing was done. And now we have a parliament reasoning, but, if the same parliament reasoning group, and, it's not even about even everybody who calls into that reasoning. It's about the ones who have the authority to, say, block an individual from joining that group. If those are the same individuals who are causing the problem by blocking, like I said, I've spoken to elders who have been intentionally blocked from joining that reasoning. So if they're blocking people who have differing opinions or people who see that there's an issue with what they're doing, then I couldn't possibly expect to go to them for them to rectify their own intentional wrongdoing. And it's not to say that everything that the Parliament group is doing is wrong, but to block members of the Congress from joining is wrong, because there's there's no, there was never any election or any selection of this parliament. It was, you know, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, there was never anything that went out internationally to say that, you know, we want to create a parliament and these are the people that we think should be a part of it. Do you agree or disagree? There was never anything like that. It was just, you know, a group was started just like any other group can start. And so therefore they have not the authority to block anyone. They're not like, say, like King Emmanuel, how he could, you know, tell someone to fly their turban and leave the camp. They don't have that authority. You know what I mean? So for them to block anyone from joining who is a member of the Congress is just wrong to me. So I didn't see any chance of that, like me speaking to them to get the results that we need in this time. So yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I don't think King Emmanuel would try to hide it, but I really don't think he would have let it go to where it is. And even once it got to where it is, it would just be about rectifying it. And if anything needed to be said publicly, I don't think he would hesitate to do it because we see that, like, you know, started the program with a message to Black people about how we need to get ourselves in order. And, you know, that to me, that's an in-house reasoning because that's for Blacks only, but it's on YouTube, you know? So, you know, if that's able to be gone public, then whatever I'm saying should be made public as well, and there should be no issue with it because I'm not calling anybody's names in particular, and I'm not even pinpointing particular examples. I'm just saying I know for a fact that people that should be in the meeting, or even on as parliamentarians, are not a part of it, and it's intentional that they're not a part of it. It's not because they didn't call in or because they didn't make themselves available. It's because you don't want them in there. And same way, you know, me personally, I called in. The first time I called in, I was blocked. Once they saw who I was, they blocked me. And then I called in the next week, and I was able to listen to the reasoning, which is what I wanted to do before I said anything, because I wanted to get a good bearings about me to be able to approach the congregation properly. And the next week when I called in, when I was ready to, you know, actually say something, I was blocked. You know, they let me in at first, and then they put me in the waiting room for, you know, 20 minutes or so went by, and I texted a brethren who I knew was on the meeting because he's the one who even shared the details, the Zoom number or whatever. And he, you know, told me that he spoke to the congregation, and they said it was definitely intentional that they blocked me. So those two instances alone let me know that these are not.
Well, you said it was an intentional thing?
It definitely. It's not even questionable whether it's intentional that they blocked me.
So why?
For whatever reasons, the reasons they said is because I wasn't crowned, and, you know, something else. I'm in another organization, which I'm not. I'm a member of a committee, which we're together to do a certain job, but we're not an organization. And so that's just a misunderstanding. But, you know, to their credit, they maybe just didn't know that it's not an organization and that it's just a committee. And it's not everybody that calls in that participates in the parliament that I'm speaking about. Like I said, it's the ones who are able to block and allow people to join. Those are the ones who blocked me, and I know they block other people. And I mean, I'm young and I ain't really, like, you know, that well established within the Congress, even though I have done work for the Congress with other Congress members over the years from the time I joined, or, you know, unofficially joined the Congress, and made myself available to work for and with the Congress. It's like, yeah, they, you know, so I've made myself available. I came as a humble person looking to help and give a strength. And, you know, because they didn't agree with the fact that I did a YouTube video, or because they say I'm not crowned or whatever, they can block me from participating. And to me, that's just partiality. That doesn't represent King Emmanuel, if you ask me. But who am I, you know? Not to say, but who am I? Because I'm a God, same way, but, you know. I have a little. My experience within the Congress is limited at this point, but I think I'm right. You know.
What
Anything wrong? I didn't lie on him.
when you say you think you're right, then what you mean? You feel like if you hadn't done the precise interview or reasoning, if I may call it so, do you think that you would be treated? You would have been treated in the same way?
Well, it's possible. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to. I can only speculate, but yeah. I mean, you know, I'm in a few WhatsApp groups with other Bobo Shanti, and in one of the WhatsApp groups, somebody, you know, shared that they didn't think I was right to go on. They, you know, the way they said it was pretty rude, you know, but basically that I was quick to go and put myself up on YouTube to talk about these things instead of going directly to the elders. But little did they know that it's elders that I've been reasoning with for me to even have the insight that I have to write the letter in the first place. And I didn't ask Priest Isaac, Honorable Priest Isaac, to put me on the interview on YouTube. He asked me to do it. And he is my elder, you know, and he is a leading priest. So I thought he had all authority to do and say whatever, you know, and within reason, as long as we're, you know, not shaming the Congress and not, you know, disclosing too much information. And I know we didn't do that because, like I said, we didn't really call up names to say this person did wrong or, you know, this is the cause of it. It wasn't even that. It was just more so to say, we, the younger generation, see what's going on. And it's been going on since '94. And it needs to stop. And you know, we can't go to the same people who causing the problem to fix the problem. You know what I mean? That's I wouldn't advise that. That's not a good tactic. If you want to resolve something, you don't go. When people, say for instance, in a country, the people have a problem with the government, they go to the government at first, and when the government shows them that they're not really listening to what the people want and they're not willing to flex to fix the situation, then the people take to the streets and they take to whatever news outlet that they can utilize to get the word out that the government is abusing their rights, you know, and that's where we are right now. It's not to say the government is abusing their rights, but certain individuals are abusing the rights that are bestowed to them by other members of the Congress, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's why we did the interview. So, you know, maybe they would have let me in if I didn't do the interview. Maybe they wouldn't. They would still say I'm not a crown prophet. And so, I mean, you know, I don't know. To answer the question, I don't know. But either way, I don't think it was right to block me. I don't think it's right to block other elders.
True.
I don't think it's right to block anybody who's a member of the Congress from a parliament reasoning that affects the Congress that we are members of, you know, and work for.
Rastafari. All right, so interesting to know if the I did the letter go? Who did the letter goes out? Did it go out to the Congress? Did you forward it in an email to the Congress or?
I forwarded it to members of the Congress. I didn't really know there was a direct email to, like, say, quote unquote, the Congress, because I mean we all are the Congress wherever we are. But I didn't have an email directly for the foundation, but I figured if I sent it to the right people, it would circulate and get to the ones that needed to see it. So I didn't have all of the right contacts, but I sent it to a good list of individuals who are influential in whatever communities they're in, you know, in different parts of the world, and, you know, America and the Caribbean, possibly. Yeah, definitely I sent it to some ones in Africa too. So, yeah, no, I didn't send it directly to, like, say, the foundation.
Yeah.
Or whatever, but I figured they would get it. So, you know, it wasn't because I didn't want to send it to them. If I had their email, I would have definitely sent it directly to them, you know, but I sent it to who I could. And in doing so, it was intentional, the ones that I sent it to, you know. So, yes.
and have you send it? Have you tried to get a connect that you could send it to the headquarters? You know, the hill. You know, when we saw the Congress still, you know what I mean, is really the headquarters. Really, I said, I know so the Congress is the whole body of I still, but you know, the headquarters, you know, just to, you know, be correct still, you know.
True, yes, my lord. I don't know. I would have to look back at the original mailing list to know exactly if I sent it to anyone who is a part, like who lives on the foundation. I don't know, honestly, to say like one way or the other. I don't know if any of them were on the original mailing list. But like I said, it wasn't because I didn't want to send it to them. It's just because I only have contact for certain people, and those people I asked to share, and some of them shared contact. I figured it would get to them still because, you know, I know how things go, and that's something that somebody would flag and say, this needs to be seen by the headquarters. What do they think about it? So, yeah, I didn't send it to them directly, to my knowledge. Maybe one or two individuals who are on the foundation would have been a part of that mailing list, but again, I have to check it again to know for sure.
My lord, my lord, my lord. All right. The different organization that the I mentioned, Zin, talk to me little about I know the I say it's not an organization, it's a committee, but shine some light around that so ones can get some more clarity about what what it is and what it's all about, my lord.
All right. Yes, my lord. So the name of the committee is the African Rastafari New Faculty of Overstanding, right? And it is a committee of ones from around the globe, from different mansions, all Rastafari, with different backgrounds and expertise, we were originally a part of a mailing list from Honorable Empress Marina Blake, the lawyer, the Bobo Shanti lawyer, who is based in New York. She sent out some emails just talking about some issues that the Rastafari family in general faces. And these are things that are across the board, whether you be Nyabingi, 12 tribes, Bobo, whatever. There are issues that we can identify in every mansion, and so, it started out as a email group, and eventually the Empress asked if, me personally, if I wanted to help her form a committee about and basically take action about the things that we have been reasoning about. And I said, yes, I would love to, and so, yeah, the committee now is about basically trying to get all of the Rastafari mansions to analyze where we are right now as a people and how can we do we need to work together more? Are there things that we do that are harmful to us? Questions, assessing the movement, assessing the behaviors of the individuals who make up the movement, and rectifying what needs to be rectified, and even coming up with some different ideas as to how we can be more impactful in the African world as Rastafari. And so it was a call for it is a call for every Rastafari individual and mansion to introspect and see what can we do differently to make us be, like I said, more impactful. So that's what it's all about, and so the new faculty then would be, and again, it's a committee, and once the work is done, the committee doesn't exist anymore, and that's why I say it's not an organization. It's not like we're, creating a whole thing that's going to last for generations or nothing. We're just trying to do a thing and then be done with it. But also the end result of the work of the committee would be like a declaration for, because we realize that a lot of people would be considered in the periphery of Rastafari, and like I said, the periphery would be outside of Jamaica, those who are non-African, and you know, like the people who kind of are not a part of like the core. The core would be in Jamaica, the Narabingi, the 12 tribes, Bobo Shanti. Those were the original mansions, if you will, of Rastafari, and the rest of us have gotten Rastafari differently from, you know, being in Jamaica. So with that, now you have a lot of different schools of thought that are coming. You have people who are not even African that are, you know, Rastafari nowadays, and so they're someone who's not African, their intentions as a Rastafari would be different, because we as Africans, we say repatriation, you know, but somebody who's from Chile, who's not African, they wouldn't be a Rastafari because they want to repatriate to Africa. Or if they are, they you know, maybe they should reassess why they are Rastafari, because Rastafari is about fighting for the rights of, you know, the poor and have-nots, and you know, African liberation and things like this. So while they also need liberation from the same colonial masters as us, their approach may be a little different than ours. So our intention was to declare for the African Rastafari what we are about, you know, going forward, and to even.
Yeah, me just say something that far right. Let me just ask the question really, cause I was saying earlier, like we have an issue on the issue that we have we is like it's the same bridging them is the issue that we are trying to fix this issue with. So it's like it won't work in our sense, because, you know, these virgins are, this thing is the issue, and it we have to go to. You understand? It's like, you know, we as a people, we are faced racism, and we are faced racism from a particular set of people. And when we look who we want to go to really fix the situation or fix the problem of racism, is actually the same people them that is causing the racism. If you get what I'm saying. So how could we like, you know, get a justice then, you know, from the same people who are cause the problem? You know, we wouldn't get a justice, a fair justice. You see me I say? Because the people who are cause the problem is them same one we are going to fix the problem. You know what I mean? So is even a bigger problem.
Yes,
is even a bigger problem. So what the I say, ones who not haven't faced this problem that we as Rastafari people have faced can really call themselves this movement, say them is Rastafari, if that's what they say. I just want to, you know, get an understanding.
Can you clarify? Can you just repeat the question a little clearer for me, so I can know exactly what to respond to?
May I say, ones who haven't been through the struggle, who haven't faced the same struggle of what the movement is and what the movement stand for, they can't really say why them are going to look towards going to, you know, Africa. Even though the man says still everyone have to find them own vine and victory still. You see me I say, so what the ayah say, one couldn't be Rastafari and not have the same African lineage then.
Okay. Yes, my lord. So, no, I would say everybody can be Rastafari. Every individual on the planet Earth can be a Rastafari. I don't have a problem with that. And I think logically speaking, Haile Selassie, you know, he was about, and this is not by Bible reference, but just by reading his words and seeing his works, Haile Selassie was about modernization through the proper use of science, you know, and for making the world a better place for every individual. He was about collective security. You know, collective security involves everybody, you know, not just black people, but even, you know, so, all right, so I'll say that everybody should check for Haile Selassie, whether it be as religiously, spiritually, or even just, you know, as a historical figure, someone who you can learn from as far as how to be a statesman, how to organize and centralize, how to like, you know, what his policies regarding foreign relations and things like that. Like, how do we deal with one another on this planet? We can look to Haile Selassie for those answers, and everybody can learn from that, and everybody can praise him for his greatness in that regard. But now, so that answers that. Everybody can be Rastafari, yes. But now, as the Rastafari, the African has a specific, our history is our history. And so the remedy to the problems that we have faced is not the same remedy as, say, someone who is indigenous to the Americas. You know what I mean? Because they weren't taken from America or Mexico or Brazil or whatever country to, say, Europe to work. The Europeans came and found them in their home, took away their land, monopolized their resources, and, you know, killed off their people and, you know, did away with all their culture and all of that. You know what I mean? So their fight would be a little bit different, but they could still rally around His Majesty, and they could rally even around King Emmanuel and Marcus Garvey, because, you know, Marcus Garvey said everybody should see God through their own spectacles, and, you know, Africa for the African, Europe for the Europeans, etc. So, you know, within righteousness, it's not to say that Rastafari is only for black people. Rastafari is for all. Bobo Shanti liberty is for all. But as the Bobo now, being that it is the Ethiopia, 1, Africa, 2, Black, 3, International Congress, that to me is very specific of who the demographic is that is, you know, intended to be members and even administrative officials, you know what I mean? Like a priest that is an administrative official to minister black supremacy to the House of Israel, being I, the black sons and daughters who are the remnant of those who experienced the Ma'afa, you know, the transatlantic slave trade. That's us. It's not, say, the Cherokee or the Navajo or, say, the Chinese or Japanese, or, you know what I mean? It's a specific set of people who are supposed to be administrative officials of this particular entity. Now, within the reality that man of right is God in flesh and woman of right is goddess in flesh, that goes to say that salvation is for all. Everyone can bring themselves to a right by studying the Black Christ principles and living those principles to make themselves a better person. But can everybody say that they need repatriation? No, because everybody wasn't taken away from their home. You know,
true.
Each man his own vine and fig tree. You know, that's Africa is our vine and fig tree. You know, the Navajo, their vine and fig tree is in Western, what we know to be America. And, you know, the same way for the Aztecs and Incas and, you know, not to be redundant, but we know the different peoples of the world, they have their homelands. We were taken away from our homeland, and even the ones who stayed in the homeland were colonized and made to be second-class citizens in their own homeland, and even third class.
So my lord, I pray thee. So when you see white bubbers, Zane, saying that they want to repatriate back to Africa with a black woman, or you see that?
I don't see that. That is utter folly and misinterpretation of the principles of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. It's a misinterpretation of the principles of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and it's a misinterpretation of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie's words and works. I mean, you know, the Organization of African Unity that His Majesty started had no European members, right? To be a member of the OAU, you had to be an African country. Now, at the time, South Africa was, you know, colonized by the British. So, of course, you know, they would have been some type of representative within that. But that was not in rightness. You know, that was just because of the situation at the time.
Yes.
I mean, it's not because they were rightfully Africans, you know. We know that African people have melanin, you know, whatever content that might be, from the lowest to the highest, but they have melanin, and the Europeans don't really have the melanin like the African, and they don't have the genotype and phenotype of the African the same way. So, I mean, the Universal Negro Improvement Association of Marcus Garvey, you know, it goes to say, I mean, Universal Negro Improvement Association. So if you're not a Negro, then this isn't the association for you. Doesn't mean you can't work with the association for the betterment of those. Like, say, for instance, we know that Marcus Garvey, he went to a meeting of the KKK, you know, the Ku Klux Klan. And, you know, to some people that might seem shocking, you know, why would a black person in the 1920s go and talk to those, you know, bigots? But he knew that they didn't want us here, and he didn't want to be here either, so we had similar interests. And so that was somebody that we could work with. You know, so yeah, we can work with white people, we can work with Indian people, Chinese, whoever it is that as long as it serves our interests, we can work with them. But now for them to be a member of our organization, that just practically doesn't make sense, you know? And, you know, people really get hung up on, in my opinion, is that, you know, you have biblical scriptures that say, you know, out of every nation and tribe and tongue, and, you know, they're all going to flee to the hill of the Lord and all this, but that's all right. You know, I feel like people should come to the hill or wherever there's a camp near them, they should go. They can learn something. But now to stay and say they're going to be a member of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, to me, if you're a European, that makes absolutely no sense. You know, because, like, to me, if I was a European, I don't think I would want to be a member of that group, you know? I might want to learn about King Emmanuel because I know he's a good person, and even Marcus Garvey, but to be a member, you know, like, it just, I mean, I don't see the logic in it. Salvation now, that's for one and all. You know, you can read Psalms yourself.
So
you can even wear a robe and turban yourself, but you can't call yourself a member of something that says Ethiopia, Africa, Black, if you're not Ethiopian, if you're not African, and if you're not Black. All three of those are imperative, you know what I mean? So, you know, I, even though we might have a American passport or English passport, we're stamped with Africa, you know, whether it be our hair, our nose, our lips, our skin complexion, you know, whatever it is, there's no doubt about it that we're African, you know? So, yeah, that's where I stand on that topic. I mean, you know, it's not about hatred. It's not that I don't like anybody, because I love everybody the way, you know, that Christ would want us to love everybody. But I am realistic in my approach to love, you know?
Rastafari. So when ones come up as you might say, you probably not even have to meet someone personally, but you can even make a post probably on the social platform, and you know you come up against all different type of aggression. You see me I say? The stance that you take, then when outsiders now say, boy, that is like a racist type of view, and that is not of Rastafari, and what's your reaction to that?
Yeah, that's just misunderstanding because, all right, if we learn what is racism, right? And I'm not learning this from Webster's dictionary, but from, say, like Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., who both have done extensive work and research and written books on the subject of racism and what it is. Neely Fuller Jr. explains that racism is white supremacy and white supremacy is racism. So me, I'm not practicing white supremacy, therefore I'm not practicing racism. My thoughts are not racist. My thoughts aren't even bigoted because I don't say all white people are this or all white people are that or Mexicans are this or Chinese or that, you know what I mean? That's like, all right, racism is a group practice. No one individual can be a racist by themselves. And as it stands in the world, the European, wherever you go, the European, or not even wherever you go, wherever the European went after they left Europe in, say, like after their Dark Ages and their Renaissance in the 1400s, when they left Europe and realized that everybody else in the world was not white and that they're the only ones who look like them, they started to, take over the world and punish people for not being white and even make it to where they had science around why white is the best and white is the most, evolved on the human chain and all of this stuff. So they created all kinds of systems to enforce their thoughts, their doctrine, and their doctrine empowered them to take control of the world, the resources of the world, and the people of the world. No other people has done that, and no other people benefit from that as much as the European. The European has the power to make everybody else free. You know what I mean? They could easily say, we're going to give reparations to African people for what we've done to them. We're going to let them control their own resources. We'll let them, refine their own resources and all of these things. And, let us be free. And they have the power to do that. No African country, and definitely not African people as a whole, have the power to say, we're going to free anybody. We can't, we're working hard to free ourselves, and even that is a struggle. So, like, the only racist in the world is the European, and not every European is a racist, but they would have to be made aware of what racism is and actually work to dismantle racism, white supremacy, in order to not be racist, because generally, the way the system is set, it's just, racism is like in the fabric, especially in a country like America, right? You have a place where people existed before Europeans got here, but now those people that used to live freely are reserved. They're limited to a reservation. Black people never did that to anybody. Indian people never did that to anybody. Mexican people, and the list goes on. We don't do that. We haven't done that. Only Europeans have done that. And so, you have, say, quote, white people who call themselves white, that don't agree with that type of practice. But just disagreeing isn't enough. You have to be, I would say one would have to actually, take steps to try and dismantle the systems that uphold white superiority and black inferiority, in order for them to not be a racist actively,
Do you think that that is the stance that white members of the Congress need to be, that is probably one stance they should be agitating, for, knowing the culture now as, as a European, or even someone that born in Chile or Argentina or Brazil, or you think they should be using this knowledge now to really agitate towards freedom, redemption, and international repatriation? Because I think, this is, that's where that would, kicked in now, as they say, them have the power to do all these things.
Mm-hmm. Yes, my Lord. They the way that in my opinion, this is just my opinion, the way that the Bobo Shanti and Rastafari culture in general should influence and impact Europeans is for them to see that they are a part of the group that is oppressing the others, actively. And if they are not actively doing something to stop the oppression, then they are actively a part of the oppression by complacency and compliance, right? So when they understand, even especially King Emmanuel, because of the way he expressed himself, in the Black Supremacy book, and even when you hear him talking, even the message that I was playing at the beginning of the program, where he was talking about how the black man has all the right, and the white world has no right, but they've taken the black man's right and used it to oppress and enslave the black man. So once you understand that as a white person who says that they sympathize with and even love the Black Christ, then that should let you know that it's your duty to go back to your people and agitate for the rights of the Africans, not to agitate for your own right to be an immigrant in somebody else's land. I mean, that's continuing the same colonization program that your ancestors started. So even if you do it under the disguise of a robe and turban, you're still the same devil, that Christopher Columbus was. You're still the same devil as Marco Polo and Ferdinand and Isabella. You know what I mean? So fire burn that, man. I wouldn't sit by and watch that happen and not have something to say about it. You know what I mean? Like, you come into this, you should be serving the black man. Yeah, that's what this is for. This Congress is to serve I and I, not for you. It's for us. And if you want to come and change that, then I have a problem with you. If you want to come and, make yourself a victim to say that you need repatriation, I don't have any tolerance for that. And anybody who does is because they don't have proper understanding, in my opinion.
Rastafari. Serious. You could go on and on still. We have to give thanks, the celebration going through to said way. Right, art a celebration to, one and all, globally. More love and strength to the item. You see me, our special guest today on the Sunday is Daniel Zane. Yes, and it's a great honor for the Virgin here upon the program. We're going to wrap up in a moment. You see me, I say in the next 10 minutes or so. You see me? And think, but we want to large up the ones them in the chat room. Manners and respect to the item taking the time out. You see me, I say it's a great honor. I see somebody them a type, I say, I can't hear Daniel. I don't know why that is. You see me? I don't know why that is, my people, but I sure the item here enough still to make certain comments. You see me I say? Yes, I want to large up the item in the chat room, manners and respect and royal art celebration again. You see me? Yeah. Yes, Daniel. So before we wrap up, Zane, what's your thought on current situation? What we see we're going through over the last year now. It's about a year now. This whole virus and everything that locked down and what are your thoughts on that?
Well, on my end, the coronavirus situation has been somewhat of an inconvenience, you know what I mean? Because, like, my trade is, I'm a painter, I go out and paint people's houses or businesses and things like that. And when it was a quarantine, it was like right in the peak season, you know what I mean, where usually I would be very busy, working every day and stuff like that. And last year, that really cramped my my work flex. So it was very inconvenient, but at the same time, it gave me the time to spend a lot of time with my family, which normally I wouldn't have been able to. And we homeschooled our daughters, so that was a good opportunity for me to really get in touch with their education and be more influential for them in that way. So that was good. That was a benefit. But as far as like the whole masks and vaccine and all of that stuff, I mean, I hate wearing a mask. I mean, I don't like it. It's not comfortable. It makes it hard for me to breathe. And I just feel like I don't think the world's gonna ever go back to what we consider normal after this. And now I'm hearing talk of them making it like a mandatory thing where in order for you to travel, you have to have vaccinations, which isn't really new because even to go to Africa, like certain parts, you have to get yellow fever shots and malaria and whatever other vaccines and things. So it's not a new concept, but it's still an invasion, and it's really like I don't think that they're gonna stop the coronavirus from existing by vaccinating people. It's just pharmaceutical companies trying to get more money out of the people, and like as we know in Africa, historically vaccines have been used to spread disease, as opposed to cure disease. So we're skeptical of all of that. And I saw a video the other day where African students at school were jumping out of the window from the second story or running out of the building because they said they were having to get the vaccine. So I think our people are we've woken up and seen that they shouldn't trust, the same colonizers' children to come and cure them of the diseases that they created, So it's real. I think people are seriously dying from it, but I think even they are maybe boosting the numbers just to get people to trust them and stuff like that. So it's just hard to know. I would say, for me personally, I'm trying my best to keep from getting it, the coronavirus that is, and the vaccine. I don't want either one. I would recommend for everybody to just boost your immune system, exercise, listen to Honorable Priest Kailash. He gives a lot more detailed advice as to how to, stay safe from it and keep yourself healthy. But yeah, use your herbal medicine, exercise as much as you can, and keep yourself healthy. Don't be careless, I wear a mask when I go into places, so, but as soon as I get out, I'm taking it off, so yeah, just do the best to keep you and your family safe, and don't trust the doctors. And, we just pray that things will open up to somewhat normal this year whenever, in my side of the world, when it warms up. Right now it's winter, but when it warms up, hopefully things will be back to normal so that we can make money, the way that we really have the skills and materials to do so. That's really the only thing as far as the lockdown and all of that, all I really care about is can I function and do business the way that I need to. And last year I wasn't able to. Hopefully this year I will be able to.
Rastafari. And a new president now. People rejoice when the old president leave office. In terms of upliftment or a better life for black people, or equal rights and justice and all these things that I and other people agitate for. With this new administration, knowing that we have I don't know, a black person is in the administration. What benefit, or you see black Americans are gonna benefit from that?
Excuse me, I have to laugh, because I mean, all right, Barack Obama was the president. He wasn't the vice president. And as far as I'm concerned, his policies did absolutely like to exclusively benefit Americans, quote unquote, or even African people in America. So a female, quote unquote black. I mean, people. She's not even like I would think someone like Michelle Obama would be more like inclined to do for black people than say a Kamala Harris. But even then, it's like I personally don't think that the president is really the one who makes the decisions. The president is just the face of the decisions that are made, and the person who signs off on this or signs off on that. So, I haven't, and I don't expect for any president or vice president, whether they be black, Asian, white, whatever, to really care to change anything in a positive way for black people because of the structure of America. The fact that America is a capitalist society, and that the beginnings of capitalism being America, because America really, as far as capitalism is concerned, America is like the first place where it really took root and was able to flourish as it did. Black people were the capital, and black people were the potential for all capital to be made, like the cotton industry, the tobacco industry, building, all of those things, establishment of the finances of this country was all on our backs. And, to this day, it's still on our backs. The only difference now is that you have, immigrants who also put some of that weight on that. You know what I mean? When immigrants, say, like you have a lot of Mexican immigrants here who do a lot of the work, landscaping and roofing and building and, a lot of the work that, people really don't want to do because it's hard work. You have a lot of immigrants who come in and do those jobs. So it even makes it even less possible for black people to really agitate, because then it becomes, for black and brown people, we want to agitate. Like even the Black Lives Matter campaign and all of that stuff got taken over by, immigrants. And when I say immigrants, I mean non-African immigrants, and the LGBTQ movement and all of that stuff. So what started out as black people standing up for their rights turned out to be black people along with gay people and transvestites and Mexicans and, all of these other people jumping on the bandwagon and convoluting the whole movement to where essentially it doesn't benefit black people at the end, So yeah, black lives do matter, but black people really need to prove to ourselves more than anybody that black lives matter by, valuing, loving ourselves, essentially loving our individual self and loving our neighbors as Christ would want us to do, So really the only upliftment or potential for upliftment and for black people is in us knowing ourselves, loving ourselves, and doing for ourselves, supporting ourselves, so the self-reliance, Marcus Garvey and King Emmanuel, the organization, like we follow His Majesty's example, and, all of our Trinity's example as far as organizing amongst ourselves to do better for ourselves and not waiting for any politician or any governmental body. Because while we agitate for, say, repatriation and reparations and things like this, we have to understand that Pharaoh has hardened his heart a long time ago and doesn't intend to come off of the riches that they stole. They stole them. And, the way they function is, we stole it, and unless you got the might to come and take it back, we're not going to just give it up because we're still making money off of it. So, for us to think that a politician or anybody like that is going to do anything like to make it better for us is insanity at this point. It hasn't happened in the past. It could happen in the future, but to bank on it and say like that's where you're placing all your hope on is like you're just misinformed, and there's no reason to be that misinformed in the information age. You just need to pay attention to yourself, see what's wrong with your community and organize yourself with the people around you to fix it. That's where the salvation lies, or stands, not even lies. That's where salvation stands, is by us doing for ourselves, not voting for people to do it for us, especially people that are participating in a system that has proven time and time again over 400 years, four centuries, that they are committed, to working hard, to finding new ways to make sure you don't get to the top or even get out of the barrel, much less to the top. They want you to stay in that barrel, so yeah, to answer the question, no, I don't think Kamala Harris will be able to do anything to help us. I don't hate the sister, I don't even dislike her. I don't know her, but I don't put that type of value in say a presidential seat. Like when Barack Obama was elected, a lot of black people were crying and wearing T-shirts, and that sentimental value isn't there for me. It's just like it's only symbolic, and it really only symbolizes the fact that they want you to think that this government cares about you and that you have a place in this country other than on the bottom. So yeah, to believe in any of that would just be to be deceived, and I'm not deceived in that way.
Rastafari. Yes, my brother, give thanks. Them words are right there. So that's yeah, yeah, man. Yeah. When I gonna further still, we give thanks, all the good things that, the I, utter, you see me I say, and we hope ones can find a right and truth in where the I say. We never get to read out the letter today. I think we spend enough time, and if ones really want to hear the letter, they could check Honorable Priest Isaac channel also, and I don't know if people want to reach out to the I differently, differently from what the I do. I know the I do graphics. Then, if the eye is open for business, if people want to contact you for doing graphic work for them, them can reach out to you.
Yes, my lord. If anybody wants any graphic design, like say flyers, business cards, banners, or even websites and anything like that, marketing and branding material, I'm open to that. I'm open for business. I've been doing these type of works for at least like 6-7 years now. My email address is the best way to reach me, but you can also, if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you can reach me through Messenger, or if you are not a friend of mine on Facebook, my Facebook name is JahDaniel. Otherwise, if you want to email me, you can reach me at jahdaniel.r7design@gmail.com, for the graphic design work. That's the best way to reach me. I have an Instagram. I have a couple of Instagram pages as well. They're not about graphic design, though. I have an Instagram page for my African Liberation Network, which is my YouTube platform. So you can also reach me on Instagram at the name is African Liberation Network, and another outlet on Instagram is R7 Culture Original, which is my platform for cultural works like chalices, calabash, and coconut spoons. Just things for liberty, natural lifestyle, and that I'm working on a website for that at the moment. It'll be r7culture.com, but it's not really ready yet. So in the future you'll be able to link me there, and I'll even share some graphic design works, and you'll be able to link me for graphic design through the website in the near future, hopefully by the end of February. But for now, the email or instant messenger or even Instagram is the best way to reach me.
Yes, my Lord. Yes, brother, give thanks for pushing out them information there. So ones can link the virgin straight up through, them information there. Zin. Yes, Jabana, Royal Art Celebration again. Give thanks for the eye taking the time, out of the eye busy schedule. Yes, so I say give thanks. I know a celebration still, but yes, honorable, give thanks again for the eye word sound, and give thanks to the work where the eye do, and continue for blaze the fire seed way. It's necessary. You see me say, and fire can't season no matter what go on. So give thanks to the eye presence, my Lord, and hopefully the eye will get crowned soon, and be able to participate the way the eye, know you should participate, but continue do what you do. You see me I say, see if you can reach to the hill, or I would encourage the eye. You see it, so
Yes, my Lord.
yes.
Give thanks. I before we close out, if I could just speak one little sound. The crowning ceremony is a ritual, but the heart, His Majesty King Emmanuel said, "Is a heart for a kingdom." Not a crown for a kingdom. So while I have yet to get the proper ceremonial crowning, I've proven, time in and time out that I'm devoted to the work of, establishing the Congress and helping the Congress to grow and helping the Congress to function. And I'm still here, regardless of whether I've been properly crowned or not. I'm still here, and eventually, yes, I would love to be crowned, but I would just say that I don't really think it is right, because of the work that I've done for the Congress. It's like people will approach me as a member, to ask me to do something, but then when I have something to say that's not even controversial, but just a differing opinion or something, then I'm not a member. To me, that's hypocritical. You know what I mean? So let's keep it real. I'm working with the T-shirt organization that the Congress has, initiated, and I've submitted designs for it. I'm still committed to it, even if they don't let me in the Parliament reasoning. I'm still going to do that because I'm using my talent to help the Congress grow, whether or not they want to accept me or recognize me as an official member or whatever. I could never be a member officially, and that wouldn't stop me from doing good work for the Congress, because I love King Emmanuel, and I love Black people, and I love working for freedom, redemption, and international repatriation. So, accept me or don't. I know members of the Congress that love me, and I love them. They reach out to me. They support the words I've said. They support the letter. And this is elders, this is young people younger than me, there's people older than me, people my age, my contemporaries. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a member. And I think other people would say the same, through my work. So, the crowning, it'll come. I know that I'll be able to be in a situation where I get crowned. I'm not even worried about that. That's not what I'm searching for. I'm searching for salvation, and I know the ceremony doesn't give one salvation, because plenty of people have been crowned, plenty of people have been functioning as members for decades and still devils, you know what I mean? So, whether I get crowned or not, my good works will speak for themselves.
True, my Lord. Rastafari, pause. Yes, Jabana, well, give thanks to the word sound again, my Lord. Yes, Yes, I royal out a celebration to the and the family, you know. Yes, I and you know, royal at large, manners and respect, peace and love. This is all we have time for today. You understand? Check out this Wednesday. We're there live with Ras Maisha Zane from in Pittsburgh there, you know. Originally out of Jamaica. You see me I say? Yeah. You call it Falmouth. Yeah man, Trelawney. See, so yeah, link up this Wednesday we're there, 7 till 10, Mindset program again. And our special guest will be Ras Maisha. We have two special guests. We have Brushy One String and we have Ras Maisha. But if you want to catch Brushy One String, you're gonna have to tune in on the Mindset the Mindset Facebook page. See? Yeah, the Mindset Facebook page, that's where you can see the interview there. And we're live on the YouTube with Ras Maisha. Zine, 9 p.m. UK time, so don't miss it. Alright, my people, royal out a celebration again. Manners and respect to the item who take the time out. It was a great honor to have the item on board today. And yeah, more love, more strength. Zine, I hope the item have some good New Year's resolution, as they would normally say. You see it. So, honors and manners, my people. Peace and love. Holy Emmanuel I. Selassie. Jah. Rastafari. Yes, I. Bless and sanctify my people. Honors and manners. You see what I say? Yes, I. Mindset program. Yes, I. Check you out, you know. If you're the first time, yeah, just subscribe. Jah Daniel, manners and respect. Just hold the line, Bobo. We're there, said we. Yes,
blessed and love, honorable. Give thanks for having I man.
Yes, I. Hold the line, Bobo.